Hello, what's up my friends? This is Overtime Dad here to bring you some very juicy Destiny content. Today we're going to take a look at the Sturm exotic hand cannon and its synergy partner, the Drang sidearm. My brother, shout out to Get Good or Get Wrecked if you see him on PlayStation Network, noticed something very strange while using Sturm to level up his baby hunter. Enough chit chat, let's take a look at this gun's perks. First off, we have the perk Accomplice, which, as you can see here, kills with this weapon fill the magazine of any equipped weapon from reserves. This can be very useful for any slow reloading secondary weapon. Think sniper rifle or shotgun, hand cannon, you get the idea. Next, we have the perk Storm and Stress. Kills with Drang reload this weapon and overflow a bonus damage round into the magazine. Now, observe, this doesn't reload the weapon from the reserves. We are talking about generating extra juicy bullets from thin air, or I guess from the dead bodies of our slain enemies. Either way, it's a very cool perk. Now, we also notice there is no mention of an upper limit to these overflow rounds into the magazine. So, I decided to set out to see exactly how many overflow rounds we can get. To be fair, Drang is no slouch. With sidearms in the best position they have ever been in Destiny 2, Drang holds up pretty well with the perks Rampage, a unique 300 rounds per minute trait, and also the Together Forever perk that allows it to fill Sturm with bonus rounds. So Sturm's magazine starts off with 12 rounds loaded into it, and as we accumulate kills with Drang, we hear the distinct click of a round being loaded into Sturm, and a +1 pops up on the screen next to the weapon. I sped this footage up quite a bit because I was expecting the bonus rounds to stop being loaded into Sturm pretty quickly. I was expecting around a magazine size of 20, so 8 bonus rounds, but this never seemed to happen. Not at 11 bonus rounds, pushing the magazine to a size of 23. Not even at 35 overcharged rounds, pushing the magazine to a ridiculous 47 total freaking rounds. This is nuts for a hand cannon, even a sci-fi, super futuristic, space magic-y one. By this point, I think you're starting to get the idea, so I'm not going to waste any more of your time. As you can see, this puppy tops out at an incredible 99 overcharged rounds, with a grand total of 111 rounds in the magazine. That's more than what the reserves, plus the initial magazine hold together before you have any overcharged rounds. Now, obviously this is really freaking cool, but is it even remotely useful? I mean, how great can a 110 RPM hand cannon and a sidearm really be? 110 RPM hand cannons are basically the redheaded stepchild of the hand cannon family in Destiny 2. I decided to see how good this pairing could be by hopping into a Nightfall strike with my brother, and let me tell you, it really was brutal trying to fight anything that had range abilities. Any sort of sniper, any sort of grenade launching captain, all of it was brutal. But we did enjoy the pairing quite a bit when it got to the final boss fight. The boss started sending hordes of enemies to assault us in an enclosed encounter, and this was really where they showed their true colors, what they were designed to do together. It led to seamless reloading without having to pause to actually reload the guns ourselves. We just kept swapping back and forth between them, firing one, firing the other, firing one, firing the other, and medium and short range, it really did a lot of damage in a short amount of time. As you can see, these ads are no match for Drang, and Sturm is just overkill at this point for anything that's not a yellow bar. However, it was very satisfying. It felt right, especially as a hunter, to just dodge and jump and bob and weave and swap between two guns and never have to stop the fighting, never get out of the action to reload. And as you can see, Sturm was even very powerful against the boss with these overcharged rounds. Nothing like a Sleeper Simulant, a Whisper of the Worm, not an Izanagi's Burden, but still effective nonetheless, and in the primary slot. I kind of wish I would have been more willing to unload these Sturm overcharged rounds earlier in the fight just to get to use that extra juice a little bit more. So all in all, very satisfying experience using it in the Nightfall. Maybe not the best for trudging through the open areas and taking out snipers, but part of that was my fault for not having a linear fusion or something equipped in the heavy to balance out that distance fighting. And my brother was also using the combo too, which doesn't help. In a normal fire team, you can very easily have someone clear out those distance adds. So, now I want to show you what you need to be careful of if you are trying to stack up these overcharged rounds. For one, don't die. Dying is going to immediately cause you to lose any overcharged rounds you have and set you right back to where you started with a 12-round magazine and no bonus damage. Another thing you want to avoid? Don't fast travel anywhere. Any sort of traveling around the map using the navigation will cause you to lose your rounds as well, and you'll be back to square one. And for all you masochists out there, I'm sure you want to know, how does this work in the Crucible? After all, if you are a masochist, of course you want to use a 110 RPM hand cannon in the Crucible. And since sidearms have always been in Destiny 2, and now they're alright, they're okay, this pairing seems like the perfect way to torture yourself on the weekend. So, I decided to set out and give that a try as well. And let me tell you, it was really a mixed bag. I'm gonna just let the gameplay speak for itself for a while. So what you can see is Drang actually seems to hold up pretty well in the Crucible. With the changes that have been made to the game lately, sidearms seem to be in a pretty good place, and they fit the playstyle of a hunter in my case, where you can get jumping around and verticality and dodging and whatnot, and land some high damage shots from up close. Unfortunately, it's much harder to make good use of Sturm. In fact, I felt like the only time it was useful was with overcharged rounds and landing crit hits. This thing is not forgiving. There is very little margin for error. I didn't see any sort of range capabilities that I would expect from a high impact, slow firing hand cannon. It didn't seem to hold that damage over distance very well or be very accurate. I felt like I missed a lot of shots that were at least I felt like I missed a lot of shots that would have been a hit on many of the other hand cannons I regularly use in the Crucible. So, I definitely plan on getting the Catalyst and trying it out again, doing an updated review, but from what I can tell, this thing is not going to be one of your daily drivers in the Crucible. Although the headshots when you're overcharged rounds on charging enemies can be very satisfying if you manage to get a juicy 2-tap, it's too unforgiving for me to really recommend. I will point out that when it comes to this pairing, practice does really improve your ability to succeed with it. I'm sure most of you are not professionals in the timing of 110 RPM hand cannons, and I can vouch for myself that I most definitely am not. And it took me quite a while to get the hang of Sturm's recoil pattern, and getting those headshots to line up, and those body shots even, it just didn't feel natural for me. But with more practice, I started to get a little bit more successful in using it. And the same with Drang. I'm not a sidearm user, but I did like the gun. It has some nice qualities to it, so I started to feel a lot more confident using it as I got more experience and have more success with it. Now, a big factor for using these are the map choice. Maps where you have long alleys and big lanes, it's going to be very hard to use both of these together, similar to the first match I played, where you had lots of alleys where I got in trouble because I didn't have a gun that could take on anyone from that distance. This map, however, does have one really predominant sniper lane, but other than that, you can get up on anybody pretty quickly in this one. There's lots of cover, there's lots of space to move around and just approach people in a hurry and narrow that gap and get into the optimal range for these guns. And so, not only did I have more success, but it was also more fun playing in this environment with the guns. So now I'm sure you're wondering, well, why does this matter to me? I don't have Sturm. I don't have Drang. This sucks. Blah 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 da 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 da. I can tell you that the only way I know of to guarantee yourself a chance at getting Sturm is to go ahead and stop by Xur and see if he's selling it that week. And if he's not, you can pick up Faded Ingrams, which will drop loot from a certain loot pool. I can't remember exactly what it's up to. I think it might be up to the Forsaken content, but not including it. And every time you get something from that content, it marks it off the list of Faded Ingrams, and eventually, if you keep farming it, you will get the Sturm to drop. Is it worth it? Probably not. It can also be a random world drop, so just keep grinding, hope you get lucky. Congrats with all that, if you get it. Now, Drang, on the other hand, which I had more fun using in the first place, and is just a legendary weapon, that can be farmed, and I can show you how to do that. First off, there's a quest. Forgive me for not knowing which one it is, just Google search the Drang quest, and you'll get one guaranteed from that. Second, this is a very easy way to farm the gun. All you have to do is pull out your Chalice of Opulence. In the first section, you need to slot in a Rune of Pride to guarantee that you get a sidearm. Next, in the second spot, you need to slot in any purple rune that guarantee the high rounds per minute trait. This will make sure that you get the Drang sidearm and not one of the other sidearms that can drop from the Chalice of Opulence. For the third spot, it doesn't really matter what you pick. This is all about the Masterwork trait, so find something that works specifically for you. Handling and stability can be great adds onto sidearms, since they are something that you fire very rapidly and you want to be snappy with. So that would be my recommendation, is one of those two, but really it's up to you. Also, for picking up Sturm or Drang, if you haven't checked your locker yet, you might want to do that. It could possibly be in there. The second thing you can do is check your collections. If you think you may have gotten it but don't have it in your inventory or can't find it, you can go to the collections and you can search through the exotic tabs and go to weapons, primary, and look for Sturm. And then you can also go dig through the sidearms and whatnot in the legendary section and try to find Drang. Now that you've slotted your runes in the Chalice, the next thing you need to do is go to your director, find Nessus, and click on the Menagerie. The Menagerie will take you into a 6-person activity, but don't worry, it is match made, unlike a raid. And from there, all you have to do is keep grinding until you collect enough progress to get to the boss fight. It's as easy as chipping away until you get it there. Some groups are fast, some groups are slow, but don't worry, it's a guarantee that you'll get to the end as long as you keep trying. Then you defeat the boss, and voila, you open your chest, and inside that chest is the guaranteed drop from the runes that you slotted into your Chalice of Opulence. So in this case, you will get your Drang, and you can keep farming it over and over and over again until you get that god roll you've been looking for. So friends, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like this content, please hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, consider sharing this with your friends if you're so inclined. I look forward to making more Destiny content for you. I have many interesting ideas and videos I'm currently working on, but if you have any ideas, please feel free to share them in the comments below. If you love this video, tell me why. If you hated it, please tell me why. Give it a dislike, I don't care. I need feedback. Help me be a better content creator for you. I appreciate your feedback. Until next time, friends.